Good morning and welcome in. It is February 24th. It is a glorious day where I'm at, and I hope it is fabulous where you're at. So last night, as I was coloring, I got a message from Brittany Rose, 6294. It looks like she may be a brand new subscriber, so thank you, Brittany. And she basically had a question about Circle of Life. And she wanted to know if I had a completed page video, and I didn't. And I was looking for what should I do this week, so it was perfect timing. She mentioned that she wants to purchase this book, but like a lot of us, just uneasy, maybe not sure, maybe not like a lot of confidence to get out there and get this book. So Brittany, this is going to be for you and for everybody else. But Brittany, Brittany Rose, I wanted to say thank you so much. And hopefully you will like this flip through. Now there's a couple of pages because I was working on this last night. So there are going to be 2 pages that I'm not going to show because they're going to be in my completed pages for February. So I hope that's okay. So we're going to dive in. This is a great book. I'm trying to think, when did this come out? It's a little bit of an older book and we'll figure that out. So this is the first, who this book belongs to. And this is a whip. Reason being is I didn't write down my color combinations on a lot of these, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and be done with it and move on. I'm just going to pick the colors and go. This paper is really awesome. It's super thick. Everybody kind of does this as the test. Does it work? Does it sound good? Great on pencils. I did ask her what her favorite pencils were, and she likes Polychromos, Arteza, and I think she said Castle Gold, but she's having a rough time with Castle Gold. Don't worry, we all do. Hold on to them, because you know what? You'll get into them. They'll be good. Okay, so this came out in 2021. So this is a fairly newish but oldie-ish book. When you're getting ready to color, you want to pick something that you kind of like. This is a book that for me, I've said this 100 times, I'll say it 100 times more. I think when you go to color in this, because of the shading, it does make you look really successful. The paper is wonderful, and that's what helps with your coloring time. Now, this book was one of my beginning coloring books, so some of my stuff is good and some of it's like, it's not professional, but I've had a good time. Most everything that's going to be in this book is going to be Prisma because that's the colored pencils I started with. I like bright colors. I also like the moody colors. This is one of my favorite pages, and I think it's because we have a lot of, now I can't even remember their names. Oh my goodness gracious. As soon as I flip the page, it'll come. But we have, believe it or not, we have a lot of these where we live, and they're always around. We'll have hundreds of them out on the poles. This I love because it's the daytime, it goes into evening, and then again into early morning. She said that her favorite colors are purple and pink, so I'm right there with you, but she tends to color in greens and blues because they're easier for her to color in. I get that. Those are my favorite colors to color into and easier to color in. Now this is one page that I would really like to do. I've kind of saved it because, even though I say it's just paper, just get in there. Don't worry, there's plenty more out there, but you still want to do a good job. But that's one I do want to do. This one's Prisma. I did the lighter leaves. I like this one. I like how it flows down and waters the flowers. I struggle with these pages. If you guys have been here any length of time, my channel's fairly newy-ish. It's only been around for, 7 months, I think, something like that. When it comes to desert, the yellows, the browns, the oranges, those type of colors, they're just not my total what I lean into the most. Ooh, I can't wait to do this one. This one I think would be super fun to do too. It's kind of similar to that other one. Now, this is another favorite of mine. We do have cranes that live at the lake with us. They tend to, you never see them in twos. They are solitary. They like to be by themselves, but they are beautiful. But I like it because it's the pinks and the purples. Those are my favorite colors also. And you can see kind of mixed with some of the blues and grays. This one, I want to say I took inspiration from Pinterest. Pretty sure I took that because I wasn't really sure what their beaks look like. I remember going on vacation and seeing one time, but I just couldn't remember what colors their beaks. This one I really like. It was fun to do. And this, I think this might actually be Derwent. And then this is Polychromos, Prisma, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I should probably start writing it down so that I kind of remember what I colored in. Anything ocean, I absolutely love to do. The blues, the greens. This could look better if I were to blend it out. But after I'm done coloring, it is really hard to blend. And this is kind of still a whip. I've got flags I've got to do here. I've got to do the background. I got to finish out the little ocean. I got to finish out some of my little dots. Oh, I got one little fishy that still needs to be done. It's almost done, but it needs to be finished out. Let's see. Oh, this one. Ooh, yeah. I want to be able to do all of that. That just to me, oh, it's all my glory. I can't wait to do that one for sure. And then of course I would love to do the octopus and then, or octopuses, octopies, not octopuses, octopies. I love like the ice. That would be a lot of fun to do. So I'm looking forward to doing that one also. My little crab, I like him. This one again is done in Prisma, and I want to say it is, it's that lighter blue aqua, I think, and then it's just the shades of aqua. I did a little bit of purple and blue in here, but the majority of all of this is the Sparkle Pop from Pentel. I just went ahead and outlined it to kind of give it its pop. The background is kind of hard to see. I wanted it to be, I didn't want it to be white, but I didn't want it to be the focal point. I wanted him to be the focal point. So it's a very light blue. So hopefully you can see that. This one was one that I had started and I did not like it. And the reason why I didn't like it is because my color choices. Again, I'm not a big fan of yellows, oranges. I'm not a good colorist when it comes to that color combination, but I am learning. I'm trying to get better at that and starting to learn to have a better appreciation of yellows. Now, I will say the new Ohuhu colored pencils, I love their yellows and oranges. There's something about them. I don't know if it's the shadowing or not the shadow, the undertone of those. I love those much more than anybody else's. But in this one, how I fixed it is I erased a lot of things and kind of started over. So sometimes it's not necessarily what you put into your picture. It can be what you pull back from your picture. These, oh, I'd love to do these also, and I can't wait. This one, I'm really happy with it. It is not my typical normal coloring style or coloring, because it's the oranges, the yellows, and the browns. They're not my normal color combinations, but I really, really love this. I love how my caterpillar came out. I do love how the cocoon came out. I really love how, I don't know if that's a moth or a butter. It's a moth. I know this. You guys have told, no, this is a butterfly. You guys always tell me it's their body shape, and I can never remember. But whatever, this little flying thing, I loved the way it came out. I wanted softer, muter colors. I didn't want it to be so heavily saturated in color. Even though that is one of my favorite styles, I do like sometimes having a more muted down, not so saturated level. So I was really happy with that. Okay, so this is the page I'm gonna skip over. I had so much fun doing this. I wanna say, when did I do this one? August, September. And I had no, I did this in August. Yeah, August. Snakes scare me. We have a lot of snakes. We live by a lake and we have a lot of snakes. They're not as pretty or as colorful. Our snakes look more like this one right here. But I really did enjoy this. And I think this is another good page to start with, even though it's super itsy bitsy teeny weeny. And it is hard to kind of figure out where the snakes are. So for me, I just started like with the largest one, which was, I believe, this one. And I just started coloring. I picked my color combinations And then I was like, okay, all right, okay, okay. And I just followed it around. Then I picked the next largest. And then I worked my way into every single snake. There's a lot of snakes. It feels so daunting and overwhelming, but try not to let it be daunting and overwhelming. Pick something. Maybe you want to start with the tiniest or almost the tiniest snake because you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to start so big at first. Okay, great. Pick a snake and follow it and be like, okay, I did a snake. Awesome. So that's a way to start, like something that's super daunting. This one was when I was practicing. I had just got the Derwent ink tints, and it was my first attempt. And yeah, block coloring. That's my favorite coloring because it's so easy. But I still had fun with this. I loved practicing. I did kind of come in with some pencils just to try to tone down because it's really bright colors. But I love it. They're bright. They're happy. They're cheerful colors. And those are the colors that I tend to gravitate towards. This one is done in Prisma and a little bit of glitter I hit over here. Love this. This came from being at the lake one morning when I was on my walk, and the sky was lit up in the purples and the pinks and the yellows and the oranges, and how they started to come through that morning. And so I wanted to try to mimic it. And I love this page. It's a super fun page. So again, this would be one that you could start on. You just start with like, okay, just do the sun. That's it. Next day, do the clouds. That's it. Next day, just do your mountains. That's it. Next day, do your tree. So you get what I'm saying. I like to work up and then go down if possible, but you don't have to. Pick the element that you like and go with it. Well, this is another one. I would like to do the snake again, but I was kind of snaked out. I did this one and a snake and another one. I'm like, I think I'm good. These are great. I haven't done this one yet. This one's kind of hard because it's like they are black and white. So it's like, well, okay. So I'll have to figure that out later. This one I think is a really good one. I like it. It's pretty simple. It's pretty basic and it's pretty easy. You've got the round, you got a little bit of work in here, and then you have your focal point here. So that's another really great page. This one I love. We have on our property, we have 6 pecan trees, we have 3 acorn trees, and then we've got 3 blackjacks. And then we have a plethora of others that are there. And so it was fun to do this. We have a ton of squirrels. The squirrels absolutely love us. Why? Because we're the Walmart of pecans. They have all the stuff, the pecans and the acorns, they just absolutely love. But I loved this one. I love the nighttime scenes. There's just something about the glow of the moon, and then I was trying to glisten the water. I did get a new pen. I don't know if I have it. Oh, I don't have it with me right now. But so I do have the Winkastella. And this one is really great, but it has a little bit of a gray tinge to it. And I believe it's the mica that's in there that kind of creates that gray tinge. And that's not bad. And that would be really beautiful up here because it would kind of pull that moodier color. But in the water, I really wanted to have more of like a crystal-ish, clearer color. And Spectrum Noir has one that's, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. It's just straight white. So I'll probably go in here and kind of fix that eventually. But love this page. This one again is kind of fun. I don't do a lot of backgrounds, but I'll color like a background like this. If I were to go in and blend, it would look a lot better. But like I said, once I've colored it, it's really hard to go in and blend. And sometimes I want that softer, muted down, and I'm not going to blend necessarily with my pencils. I'm going to blend with a blender. But I had fun with this. We don't have stags like that, though we did have one a couple of years ago. I was out taking out the trash one day and I kind of I feel like somebody's looking at me, staring at me. And when I looked over, he was huge. Oh, he was gorgeous. And he looked at me and I looked at him and we were both just like, are we both afraid of each other? I just held very still and he just walked down and then he jumped down into the ravine, but he was gorgeous. And so it was fun to do that. The bunny page, love it. Same here. These were really too dark. And it was another page where I did it as one of my whips, wonderings or wrecking balls. And I thought for sure this would be in the wrecking ball stage. So what I did is I just took an eraser and I erased back a lot. And that helped to kind of balance out the colors. It was just too heavy saturated of color there. I love this one. I think it turned out good. It's not my norm, but it was okay. And then I love my little hedgehog, porcupine, not sure which one he is, but love this one. It turned out really cute and just had a ton of fun with that. In her books, she does such a great job in kind of like here. So I'll point to it. I don't want to cause too much of an issue, but like where these dark lines are, that's just a hint that that's where you'll put your darker shade. And then you kind of hit here and go along here. And then where there's empty space, that's going to be, now it doesn't necessarily have to be this way, but it just kind of helps. So wherever there's emptier spaces, that's where your lighter color is going to go. And because these are so heavy, when you put down a darker color, it actually helps to shade it better. And that's when I say these books make me look much better of a colorist than I really am, because there's just so many prompts and so many helps that along the way you just kind of figure out. Now you don't have to follow these. If you want to go, you know what, I want this to all be dark, and I want this to be my light, well, then it's your coloring book. It's your coloring time. You enjoy it. You have fun with it. The fox, oh, I had so much fun. Even though it's oranges and yellows, I still did have a good time with it. And like I said, I am learning to have an appreciation for yellows and oranges. Just because something isn't naturally your leaning to, sometimes you just need to go and say, hey, I need to give it a shot. I need to give it a try. And you need to kind of open it up. I do love my moth butterfly. I love those colors. I mean, obviously you're not going to have one of those in real life like that, or at least where we live, we don't have that kind of. We'll get monarchs, but we don't get that kind of butterflies. This one I like. It was a little bit heavy on these parts here. That was the Pentel Sparkle Pop, and it's just a really deep saturation of color as opposed to the lightness of this color. Didn't really have my technique down at this point when I did it, but I still like it. I think it's just fine. I had a good time doing it, and I just want to have fun when I color. I'm not trying to be an artist. I'm not trying to sell my work, anything like that. I just want to have fun with my coloring time. So this is going to be really hard because it's going to be the beiges, the browns, the oranges, the yellows. Again, something I don't tend to lean towards. So that's one that, I mean, I would love to do it. It will get done. This one I can totally see. I love those grays, those moody colors. So I do want to do that, but it is kind of hard. It's like, oh, so much moody. So finding that balance. The little gecko, I had so much fun doing this. I just had a great time. And to be honest, I just got in there and colored. I was like, you know what, today I just really love peach. So I was like, I'm going to get in there and do all of this in peach. And then I was like, on the opposite side, do all of this blue. And then I was like, do all of that green. I didn't really have a plan. I just did it. This looks like it would be daunting. It was very, very easy. Easy page. I did light peach, and then I came in with a darker peach, or a medium peach, and then I went in with a little bit darker. I don't know. Let me see if I bring this up, if you can see it or not. But there's kind of the deeper just on the outside. This was a very easy page. Again, just break it down, focus on an item, the gecko, focus on an element of the gecko, focus on the skin. And you know what? If you're stuck for color combinations or inspiration, you use this. Like, use it until you find what you want to do. But there's Pinterest, there's magazines, there's all kinds of ways. And I did a video on picking colors, and somehow the mic is really bad. It sounds like I'm in a cave, and I probably need to redo that. And I go over how to pick colors. But there's so much inspiration out there. Again, oh, I want to color this one. I want to color this one so bad. I can't wait to do that one. This one was an early on one. I don't know if I would color it the same way, but you know what? You have to start somewhere, and your pictures are not going to be perfect every single time, and that's okay. The other thing is, One day I was sitting on the couch, I was talking to my hubby, and he was like, we were just laughing. I'm like, I don't know, I'm so afraid to color because what happens if I ruin the book? And he's like, well, don't they have other books? And I was like, oh, well, doy. Yes, they do. So, you know what? If you buy this book and you start coloring it, you're like, oh my gosh, I really, really love this book. Go buy a second one. Now, I'm not going to tell you to Noah Ark it every single time, but when you find a book that you really like, buy the first one, color in it, see if you really like it. Then go buy a second copy and then just have fun. Go in there and learn. Use all the elements, use all the tricks, use all of the color alongs, use everything until you figure out what you like, and then you get to build your own personal style. That's the best advice I could give. This one, I couldn't believe. I really love. I don't know if it comes out as well on camera as it is in person. The leaves are super bright on the camera, but in real life, they really aren't. This is all done in ink tints. Then I did go in and hit like the little bugs and things with pencil and with glitter. This one is still a whip. The water and the sky, they were done off of old felt tip markers. I mean, really old ones. And I'm looking around and I don't even have them near me. But like the old felt tip pens that back in the day when your teacher would grade your paper and she had the red one, that's what this was in the for the water, and I really loved it. I need to finish it. Backgrounds, they're on my list. I want to accomplish that. So skin, hair, fur, feather, gems, jewels, metals, eyes, oh my, they're all the skill set that I want to learn this year. This I think would be a really fun one to do. This one, I'm not really sure. It's kind of like a rinse and repeat, which I think is fine. It's a limited color palette. You probably just need, like 3 here, 2 here, and then this. So you really just need a couple of handfuls of colors. This one I loved. I did this one in October of last year, and I loved the blues and the purples. There is Winkostella in here. I don't know if it really picks up the glitter or not, but what I did is I just colored it very roughly, and I didn't blend either, just a very rough color. And then what I did is I took the Winkostella and I only did the spider web in the Winkostella, and that's kind of, there, that might catch it a little bit because it's so saturated right there, but it's also kind of where my lights are at. But as you come up, you lose it. Oh, maybe there it catches just a little. So anyway, super fun color. Okay, this is one, yeah, I want this. I want to do this one, and I kind of want to mimic that one back there and kind of use that color palette. Okay, so the next page, this was the page I was working on last night when I got your message, and so you'll see a little bit. You get a little bit of hints. That'll be in my coloring along, or my completed pages for February. This one, I love this one. I had so much fun doing this. I did this last summer and just had fun. This was really tricky, trying to get all the shadowing inside here, trying to get the shadowing, getting the color combinations, getting them down, and then doing the ocean. I didn't want the ocean to be blue necessarily, but I didn't want it to be green. So this was just like a happy little combination of where it's that bluish green. It reminds me when we went on a trip a couple of years ago and we were off some islands, and this color of their water just kind of reminds me of that. So this is probably one of my favorites in here. I love just, again, bright, cheerful, happy little colors. I just love them. Oh, dolphins. Back in the day, I lived in an area, we wouldn't get many dolphins, but occasionally we would. And when you would see them, you knew that it was safe to surf, and you're like, let's go. And I remember being a kid, there were like 2 or 3 of them. And we'd always have the beach balls on, in our backpack, just in case we saw one. We'd get in real quick, blow them up, and we'd play. They wouldn't stay for long. It only happened a handful of times as I was a kid, but some of my most glorious memories is having those. Today, that I can guarantee there's not a dolphin to be found where I was. This would be almost mandala-ish just because of the circular motion, but it's not a repeat in the pattern, or it's a repeat as far as the pattern kind of, but it's not a repeat in the picture. So this too could be a lot of fun where maybe the background is a very limited color palette, and then each of these are the pop. So this, the conch, or not the conch shell, the shrimp shell would be kind of like the picture frame, if you will. That would be the frame, and then each of these would be the picture, the focus of where you would want to do. And you just start each day, like one day, just paint one here, or paint, color here, color here, color here. Now, I do not use, talking about paint, I do not use markers in this book. I'm sure they probably would work, but I'm afraid they would bleed on to the background. So if you want to do markers, just get a sacrificial lamb book, get 2 of them, sacrifice each picture, color them, put them together after you're done, and be done, if you really, really love markers. But Inktense works great in here, and the Prismas, and I'm sure the polychromoses work fabulous in this. This, I love this one. Again, it reminds me of being a kid. It reminds me of being out and just having fun in the ocean and just kind of living and just being by the sea. You can kind of tell pinks and purples, like you, are kind of my favorite colors. And then I mixed it in. So I did my water and I pulled in my pinks and my purples, just because there were many times in the morning where as the sun was coming up and we were getting ready to surf, you would see the purples and the pinks in the water. It didn't last long, but oh, it was glorious when it was there. So one of my favorite pictures, I absolutely love it. And then this one, I did this one a couple of months back. I struggled with this one because I didn't know exactly how to color it either. And sometimes you just kind of go into it. Now, I still haven't finished these because I'm still trying to figure out like colored pencils or glitter, whatever. I did the water, of course, in the Prisma. And then what I did is I just took my glitter pens and just started coloring these. I just wasn't sure if I wanted those in glitter or not. I don't know if you can catch it or not, but that's kind of, like the repeat, the blue, the green, the blue, the blue, the green, the blue. And now it's just finding out what do I want to do here, all the way in here. So this is still a whip, still trying to figure out what I want to do. Some pages are really easy. You get them done and get them done super fast. This one was kind of one as I began to understand how pencils worked, because when I first started, I didn't understand the way they worked. I was too timid with them. I was coloring too lightly. Yes, I do like a softer color sometimes. I like vibrant colors, but when I first started, it was way too light. And maybe I'll show a book or two in the next week or so to kind of point that out. This one, I picked up a picture off of Pinterest, and it was one that was kind of like in the ocean, but it was AI generated a little bit. And so all I did is I just picked up on their color combinations that they had. Again, I've not blended it very well. I liked that little bit of, I don't know, peekaboo, speckly. I hate to bring it up too much because I know my lighting is not the best when I bring it forward, but you can see where the white from the paper is coming through. And many times we don't like that to come through. We're always blending to get rid of the white. Sometimes I say up close it doesn't look so great, far away it looks a little better. I think that does in this case. It gives it that speckly look. And so I was good with it. Again, very limited palette. I went onto Pinterest, picked my swatches. If you've been here long, you know I can only color off of swatches. I have a very difficult time. I am not colorblind. Somebody asked, are you colorblind? I'm like, no, I'm not colorblind, but I don't, okay, I see color. Like I know that this is orange. I know this is yellow. I know this is blue. Like I know my colors, but I can't see the colors on the paper. Like I can't visualize what something could look like. I don't know if that makes sense. So it's not that I'm color blind. It's just I don't see how colors are going to work until I pick them out. I swatch them down, I pick them and then go from there. I don't know if that makes sense or not. This is super fun. Again, I use the white of the paper to help me. And I wanted it to have kind of that soft, like if the ocean, I never lived in a place where the ocean was icy, but if the ocean were icy, I wanted those icy colors and I wanted that to be, again, more of the backdrop. And then I wanted the pop of color to come in all of the sea life. This one, again, I'm not much of a mandala person. And you can tell because I don't even know how to say it. I don't know if it's Mandala or Mandala. I don't know. I vacillate in the ways that I say it. But I had a great time. Why? Because I gravitate towards pinks. I love pink and green. Those are my favorite, or the purples and the blues. So pinks and greens, purples and blues. Those are kind of my colors. Though I did add a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow, trying to, lean into those colors a little bit more. And it was fun to add these colors in because my natural part would have been, okay, I've done these in the pinks. Let's do pinks again. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that or not. And I love just kind of the brightness of this and then the deepness of that. I did add yellow here. That was a big stepping stone for me. I know, the craziness. But anyway, I got just a fun paper. Yeah, this one, I don't know. Someday it'll get done. This one, I would love to do this one. But I have to say, even though I've been coloring for a couple of years, I go, ooh, this is intimidating. And then I step back and go, okay, wait, hold up. You know what? Let's just start up here and let's color this. And then let's color our mountains. Then let's color, I would probably skip over this. Let's get into our little greeneries a little bit. And then your biggest feature is kind of your wall. So sometimes maybe that's it. You take the wall and you color that. And then you just do the repeat. And then you've now, if you color this, like think about it. If you were to color this, boom, that's like a third of the page. Then if you did your water, wow, you're just rounding third base at that point. But when you look at the entire picture, it is daunting. It is overwhelming. Now you throw a Kirby in there. Oh my goodness, that will way overwhelm you. That's why we start with pages. We break them down. So pick your medium. You've picked pencils for right now. Pick a book that goes with that medium. That's the mistake I made. I just started going out and buying everything and I couldn't figure it out. And through trial and error, I was like, oh, okay, this is what I wish I had known. I wish I had known, hey, if I want to color with markers, if I want to color with markers, I need a book that accommodates markers. If I'm going to color with pencils, then I need to find books that accommodate pencils. Sometimes it's a lot. It sounds easy, but sometimes it is hard to do. Single-sided is usually your indication that it's going to be good for markers, though these could be used in markers too. I just haven't done it. This one, again, nighttime, but it was more of like, okay, it's nighttime coming into early morning. And I picked those fun, happy, cheerful, let's get up and get going colors. I know everybody's so shocked that that's what I would pick. This is a Mandala. This again is the one that I didn't want a huge saturation of color. I just wanted very light colors, though I wanted you to be able to see the colors. So these are the blues and the pinks. I love those colors. Again, that's my favorite color combination. And I really like this one. I like the softness of it. I guess it looks kind of grandma-y-ish. It looks like a pattern that you would see on your grandmother's couch. Didn't realize that's what it would look like when I was coloring it, but I love it. I know some people will color this whole background. For some reason, sometimes I love that juxtaposition, that bright white coming through the colors, and then sometimes I don't. I want it colored. Pick what you like. It's your book. It's your color time. It's time for you to just spend time with you and find what you enjoy. So I loved this page until I did the background. It looked better, in my opinion, it looked better when the background wasn't there, but I'm still happy with it. I still love it. I love the little birds. I love that, like the little egg and Easter time and the newness in the garden and the things that come out. So super fun page. Then I was like, this day I was like, I need to learn how to do a background. And it scared me. So I picked this because I thought, it'll be fine. These are grays with a little bit of black, just ever so slight. Is it the best? Absolutely not. Is it good? Sure. Is it acceptable? Absolutely. Again, I'm not Picasso. I'm not Renoir. I'm not doing art. I'm just having fun. I'm de-stressing. I'm having fun. I'm doing this for therapy. I'm doing it just to have a good time. This one, I like it. I think the colors are a little too bright, a little too much, but I think somehow it works. So the purples are there. The pops come in the red and the yellow. I still like it. I think it's great. Ooh, I want this one so bad. I have a vision in my head of what I want this to look like. And that can be dangerous for me because it will paralyze me. Because I know that what I see in my head, I cannot get out on paper. So this will probably be, well, I'll try not to make it one of my last ones, but it's probably going to be the last one. Oh, this one, I can't wait to do this one. It's super fun. The double spreads, yeah, they just take forever. And my skill set is there, but it's not. Double spreads are a little overwhelming. But again, even though it's 2 pages, we could do the same thing. Maybe you start with the water first. I start with the water, do all the water. Okay, water's now done. Check. Okay, maybe the next, okay, now we'll go with the lily pads. Do all the lily pads. Okay, perfect. Then you break down, okay, now I'll do all of the lily bushes or whatever. However it is you want to do it, you do it. That's best for you. And sometimes it's just your mood, whatever you're in the mood for. Ooh, can't wait to do that one. This one's kind of weird. It's more of like a science project, which I still think is kind of fun. That will be interesting to do. This one was really hard because I was learning how to do color jewels. I didn't do it. All I did was go dark, light, and then hit it with some glitter. But I still had fun with it. Of course, you can see what's my choice of the sky is the pinks with the grays, and then the blue, the lighter, the more icier blues with the pinks and the purples. That's my tendency. That's what I tend to go towards. This one I think would be interesting, though I can't see this one. Like, I'm not exactly sure what this would look like because I can't come up with the color combinations. Though inside my brain, the one thing that comes through is every time I look at this, I just think red background and red up into the clouds, and then like a peachy pink here. That's what I see. The rest of it, I don't know what to do. And I'm not even sure that's what the colors will be, but that's kind of what I see sometimes when I look at this particular picture. Again, it's not one that I would naturally gravitate towards, but I don't think we should always color the things that we naturally gravitate towards. We do need to step outside our bounds a little bit. This one I think would be great for, I think there's a color thing that's in space timber. I didn't do it this year just because I was working on something different, but I think these would be great pages. If you want to do more community style coloring, like do your personal coloring, you can join our buddy colors. Like we would love to have you in any of our buddy colors. You could do community colors where it's like, I cannot wait for a mermaid. Ooh, that's going to be a fun time. But space timber, October, whatever, fun things to do. This one was one where I was like, I am going to do my very best to pick colors that I love, which are these colors, but I need to step out and I need to do the colors that I don't normally reach towards, that I don't normally love. And believe it or not, I actually do like this page. It isn't the one that I draw to. It isn't the one that my eye would naturally go to, but I did love this one and I still love this one. This one is a whip. It's done very icy, very light. I do think I'm going to kind of zhuzh up the color a little bit because you really, even when you get up close, you still can't see it. That's a little too light. But this is one that I really want to finish. I think this would be super fun. I'm learning how to color snow. So, because like it's all white, how do you get it to be white but not be white? And then my back little page. That's it. So that, I hope, Brittany Rose, I hope you enjoyed that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a page out of here today. And for you, I have pulled out my polychromoses. Now, I have these. I bought the set of 36. There was an incredible deal a couple years back. I mean, smoking hot deal. You would be stupid. You'd kick yourself if you didn't buy it. So what did I do? I bought it. I still haven't kicked myself. But when I got it, I started working with them and I swatched them out and I was like, whoa, these are really nice. And hopefully I don't hit my camera too hard. I did swatch them out. As you can tell, they still are like brand new. Why? Because I don't know how to color in these. I don't have the skill set. Many times I say I'm over my skis in these, but when I was doing this, I loved them and I did. If you could have smell a tube, they smell divine. I am over my skis on these. However, I didn't realize I was over my skis with these. And the deal was so good that Amazon said, hey, I don't know if you know this, but the 120 set, you bought the little set? Well, the 120 set, it's even a better smoking deal. So I bought the 120. And I swatched these two. Now, what's crazy on these, and I don't know if it's just me, but for some reason, this set does not color as well as the other set. I don't know what happened. Like I had these, they were like great. Then I got this, I swatched them all out, super fun. But for some reason, they just didn't feel the same as those. But I don't know. I mean, they have to be the same pencils. I mean, they came from the same vendor. They came from the same time. I only bought them like 3 days apart from each other. I have the 120 set and look, they've never been used. Oh, I don't know why they keep shifting like that. It must be the way I put them in my drawer. But I want to be able to get out from, don't want them to be over my skis. So what I'm going to do is you have encouraged me that I am going to pick a page out of the circle of life and then I am going to do a color along. It's not going to be fabulous. It's not going to be awesome. It's not going to be great, but hopefully it's just enough to get you started, hopefully enough to make you feel a little bit comfortable, a little bit confident. And guess what? Your first page, it may turn out spectacular. It may not. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. The most important thing, Brittany Rose, is that you have fun with your coloring time. I don't have the Artisas and I don't have the Castle Arts, but I do have these. And we'll see if I can build a skill set for these. And maybe the two of us together, I will get over my fear of the pencils. You can get over, if you have a fear, now I'm saying that you're fearful, but maybe you get over the fear of your coloring book. And together we will both be able to enjoy our coloring time. So until next time, thank you guys so much. Remember, hoping that your pencils are sharp, your markers are juicy and bright, and remember, it's just paper. There's plenty of it out there. Just enjoy your coloring time. And until next time, bye-bye, guys.